I'm going to walk you through today how I signed a $7,000 client from a Facebook group. I have done this multiple times over, but I'm going to walk you through one specific example from a couple of months ago today of how I signed a $7,000 client and just this specific case study. And the really exciting thing was this person did not know I existed 2 weeks prior to paying me $7,000 in full for one-to-one coaching. So here is how I actually utilized Facebook groups for this specifically. Here's how I sign clients from Facebook groups very consistently in my business. Even though this is just a small part of where I actually focus my time, I get really big results from this, from the strategy that I use. So with this specific person, I'm going to walk you through what actually happened here, what this actually looked like, so you can see, how this person turned from not even knowing I existed to a lead to actually a client in just a couple of weeks. So the very first thing is I saw this person post in a Facebook group simply asking a question just about attracting the right people as a coach. And I shared my 2 cents in the comments. So I just popped in and just shared a couple of paragraphs on some advice that I would give her just from my experience. And also let her know that I was more than happy to go into more detail over voice message. Again, practical reasons of voice message, I can say a lot more than I can in just typing out a Facebook comment. And also it means that we can just have a conversation in the DMs as well, which I found can just really lead to some great things always when we just, bring conversations over to actually DMs. So she found my advice really, really helpful from that comment in the post. So she messaged me, as I said, voice messaged over a few more insights, and these were literally like 3 minutes total of voice notes. So I was just sending over a few more thoughts based on just a little bit more context she'd given me as well, of just what I would advise her essentially if I was her coach, what I would be saying to her if this was my client sending me those messages. So just being super helpful and just sharing my advice essentially there. And then after just those few voice messages back and forth, she found this so helpful. She was really impressed with this advice. It was really a light bulb moment for her. And she asked for details on my coaching package. And I think this is a really, really powerful moment to acknowledge, because I didn't pitch her anything. I didn't even suggest about working with me. I didn't even say about here's what I do with clients or anything like that. I just shared really tangible advice for her, just a few minutes of just what I would advise her to do essentially, and a different approach she could take. And she found this so helpful that she herself was just intrigued about my packages from there. So she just asked me, just for some details on my coaching packages and what it actually looked like for how I do work with clients. And so I shared that how I work with clients with her. I shared, what the coaching package does look like in terms of how I work with clients. And I just as well lightly linked this to how she would be a great fit for this program. So just sharing, this would be a really great place to help you with X, Y, and Z, the things she'd said about. Because, I have worked with clients in the past on this, or, for her specifically, I've worked with someone in her niche before. So I kind of gave this example as well. So just lightly sharing those as well, and then invited her to hop on a discovery call. So then from there, we had our discovery call the next week, and she signed on as a one-to-one client with me, paid in full. And I wanted to share this process with you because it really was that simple. There's no complexity involved in this. I didn't need to pitch her or anything. I really just led with my knowledge and let my knowledge speak for itself. And I think this is such an underrated strategy, which people are not using, of just, if you know your stuff, let that speak for itself. Sometimes that can be enough to just actually show people why they want to work with you. We don't need to try and, chase and try and persuade people why they should work with us, but just letting our knowledge speak for itself, just sharing, some advice with people, especially when they're asking questions, especially when, they're making Facebook group posts, asking for some support, asking for some questions around things. Actually, that is just what got me the client. And this is how I always approach Facebook group exchanges and conversations, because I'm just aiming there to be helpful. And I know, just because this has happened multiple times over, that when I am just being helpful, when I am just offering advice to someone, a lot of the times that will actually lead to someone saying, hey, that was really, really helpful. Is there any way we can hop on a, coaching session together? Or what are your packages? I'm intrigued. And because they found that one conversation, 3-minute conversation, so helpful, that they're wondering, what would it look like if I work with this person a little bit longer? There's some other things I'd love to get her thoughts on as well. And they know they can already trust me. They know that I have valuable advice. They know that I know my stuff because I've literally proven it just through that conversation with this client. So This is how I turned someone from not knowing I existed to 2 weeks later being a 7K paid in full client. Again, this has happened multiple times over for me in business, just from Facebook groups specifically, but this is that one specific example because I think it just highlights how simple it can actually be, and the process doesn't need to be complicated. It really can be this easy to get really high paying clients from Facebook groups when you let your knowledge just lead the way. If you found this video helpful, make sure you give this video a like and make sure you subscribe so you do not miss the daily videos. And on that note, I will see you in the next one tomorrow.